Hey everybody, it's Bracket 248 here. Just doing some final adjustments on the audio. And my clock says I'm going to respond too. Okay, my bird clock made a good little sound check. In June I did a sound venue at an event and had some issues with the a couple cables. So one of the cables I had issues with is my patch snake, which is right here. So I don't know what happened. In my 30 years plus doing sound, I have never had one of these cables go bad on me. So this is a total unexpected thing. So I'm going to do some troubleshooting. Right now I got to plug in the live rack, which will power the soundboard and a few other things and stuff like that. So I'm going to kind of rough rig everything and figure out what the heck is going on. And then hopefully I can figure that out. But in case you're having some technical issues like this, I'm going to bring you along the journey of troubleshooting and what I possibly think may have gone wrong. And I'm going to stretch this out a little bit, get it closer to the camera. I'm going to have to do this anyhow because of, I got to watch my hand because my ceiling fan likes to activate without, shall we say, being told to. So, okay, so I'm expecting it's in these connections here. These are permanently sealed or hermetic sealed. If something happens in here, it's not fixable other than maybe cut the connector off and put a new connector on. So that's going to be the issue. So let me get the power to the rack in rigged up real quick and stuff like that. It is a heavy duty cable that runs the rack because there's so much power coming off of that. Hopefully I don't knock a ton of stuff down. Got a little house cleaning to do too, so. But, alright, cord's plugged in. In case you guys don't know, comes to connectors, I don't play around. This is a 62 amp plug. Guaranteed to power this rack up. Alright, rack is live. Got tons of power cords and power patch cords. So I'm going to make sure which is which here. Doesn't really matter. I think I added a new cord, but didn't need it. This is why I wish I had a shop I can have more room to do my videos in. All right. All right. The only thing I'm missing probably is my tone generator. It's not where it's supposed to be. All right. Sorry about that, folks. Oh, they'll tell me my tone generator wasn't walking. I've lost some few items from the last venue, so I don't know how here where things are at. So, but one thing about the soundboard, it does have a tone generator built into it. So we'll just go ahead and I don't need that. So I'll take this all the way up to 99. Press OK. Let's see, I want to add effects to, yeah. We'll run it to mains. Wow, that's low. That should be right at unity. 12 o'clock, that should be right at unity for a tone generator. We'll give it some amplitude. All right. So 2, 4, 6. I think I was using 6 and it's either 6 or 7 or 7 or 8 on this, so we'll go that. I didn't make any notes. Alright, so we'll go with 7 and 8. So those of you that use the color code, the resistor color code system, this is 8. And this is 7. So violet is 7, gray is 8. Alright. That seems not to be the issue. Okay. That is extreme. This is going to be the fun part. One of the videos I showed you, I was making a template for a backplate, so everything's plugged in. There's my tone generator. This is a handy tool to have. This is made by Goldline. It's a tone generator. It's got like 4 different tones on it. This is my go-to. If I got a problem with a mic cable, that way I can simply make that, I can put a tone across there and check it across them out. So I am going to plug it into the board just in case I will need that, just for additional tones. Alright, so that's not the culprit. So let's see if I can move this around this a little bit more. Y'all can see it on the camera. Slide the board over a little bit. This is the problem with this Behringer board. It does not have a memory. So, alright, so this is a 1 kilohertz tone, so that's the peak tone. So it's not a pure sine. It's acting like a peak generator more than it is a Pacific tone generator. Let me go ahead and cancel that out. Let me put mine on. Sine to main. Sine to main. 12 o'clock. Go to Unity. Let's bring the gain up to about 1 o'clock. Take it to 2 o'clock. Okay, that's my 10 kilohertz. That's the 200. That's the 400. That's the 1K. And that's the 10K. Okay, so it's not those two channels. Let's see. Really want to know what happened. Some reason. I got an off pan. Ooh. Yeah, a potential meter. It's kind of wacky. All right, let me try this. So it's for all right. That feeds the monitor. So that's feeding the monitors. Okay, so 7 and 8 are fine. So what's my signal splitter on? Okay. So let's go. That was okay. That was 1 and 2. So we'll go 3 and 4. 3 and 4. Ooh, that one's a little hot. That is weird. Okay, that is very, very troubling right now. So, 5 and 6. What do I got those guys hooked up to? As of right now, nada. So, let's see if that was the issue. Okay, I think we got our problem. I think these were the two I was using, so I'm gonna check with my VOM. Multimeters. A good multimeter would have a continuity checker across it. So that little buzz you're hearing is the continuity. That's open. And I am getting a little bit of diode fluctuation, so that might be the issue. That's open. Tip and ground is the most important ones to make sure they're open. And that one's clear. So this guy has a little bit of an issue. Alright. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook up these guys like I did at the event. And stuff like that. So 7 and 8 went to the analyzer. So if you're using the resistor color code system, the odd number is always channel A. And for you that don't know how to divide that, that's channel left. Okay, so this here was the aux in, so brown will go to 1. Brown is 1. Red is 2. Okay. And then I had these guys go to subs. So 3. So there's 3, 4, 5, and 6. Alright, let's open up the subs. Take those to Unity, assign, and we got a response. Okay. So I do have an aux-in issue right here. So I'm going to see if I can balance that out. So I'll take that to you 12 o'clock on those. That corrected that. Alrighty. That's puzzling. Alright, so let me 1 and 2. Bring 2 up. Oh yeah. Yeah. There is a problem in here. Even though these guys are not hooked up, there is a problem. So, not by much, but enough to interfere with the system. Yeah, never had that problem before. So, what I did is I have other patch cords adapters where I can take these ports to XLR through an adapter, and that's how I did a workaround. And once I did that, I had full tone come across the amplifier up on stage, the monitors and stuff like that. So, that is interesting. So I do have a problem with the cable, and it's this one. So I'll just go ahead and cut it off. I'll actually cut both off and then put an actual more conventional connector. That's easy. That's going to be an easy cable. Alrighty. So with that said and done and said, I need to put a piece of equipment back in here. And the bad news is I'm probably going to have to go get some screws. Unless I was smart enough to put them in here. So, it's always smart to have a little tub-like thing to hold your screws and stuff like that. It just makes life easy. And this little tub here lives with the rack, so it's a permanent fixture to the rack. Yeah, this guy's gone, so I'm not going to worry about him. So I'll just take the screws from here, and I'm not able to fix this. The company Digitech does not make the transformer for this guy anymore, so it's pretty much toast. I'll try to see if I can figure out a way to get a hold of the schematics for the transformers, because they're not playing nice. It's a great effects processor. I really enjoyed using it. Five-mile long screws. So you're probably wondering what I'm putting back in here. I'm actually putting in my show design back in. So that's what's going to go back in its slot, and do a little rearranging. I took this apart so I can easily access it. Alright, let me go put this somewhere. Okay, grab my show design. So this is my show design. This is from American DJ. I really like using this board. That's just a troubleshoot terminator. So that way, when I'm setting up the lights and I have a problem, if that light doesn't show green, then I've got a problem somewhere in the feed. The nice thing about the show design, this particular one, is I can actually do a lot of things with it. It doesn't take a whole lot of rack space, so that's what I like about this one. I think that's enough. I had it out because I was replacing the memory battery in it. And plus, I was doing some other programming with it. So you might be hearing some hiss on my wireless. My body pack is doing something kind of funky too, so I don't know what's going on with that. It was working several months ago, and I decided to use it for filming purposes for this video. Obviously, we've hit a snafu. Oh man. I was hoping to do a full-blown, in your face, taking connectors apart, troubleshooting video, but obviously we got lucky. So that, in a nutshell, was a good thing. So I'm going to talk about my VOM real quick. It's good to have one that has a continuity tester with a type of a buzzer, because then you know that you have a true continuity or a short. A short is where wires are connecting to each other. A break in the wire is where there's a break in the wire and it's being sporadic. People get that confused. So short is where two wires are actually physically touching each other that are not supposed to be touching each other, and that's what's probably happening here in this connector here on number 5. Yeah, because everything else is fine. Let's look at aux ends. Yeah, so I don't know. So now this does ohms, it does volts, it does amps. It also does inductors. So if you're doing crossovers or something like that, troubleshooting inductors on your crossover and stuff like that, you can do that. So it's got a nice bunch of whistles and bells in there and stuff like that. Alrighty, well that's totally frustrating. Don't know what to say. I thought literally I was going to have
go, like again, like I say, go through and troubleshoot each one of these and maybe chop these guys off and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I guess it was a fluke or something. I don't know. Any suggestions? Reach out. Oh boy. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and turn these off. This guy I have to reach in back and turn off. It's I don't know why Samsung put the power switch in the back like that. Alright, it's safe to turn the board off. Like I said, it's really nice to have one of these. It's from Goldline. That they used to make one that's a peak generator, which has all 31 frequencies available on it. And so I'll put that on my soundboard I use for YouTubing. Alright, well, I guess it's unplug this bad boy and wind up all the cables, make sure everybody's plugged in where they need to be at. That made for a weird video. Like I said, I got a little house cleaning to do. No biggies. Do that after I do the video. Alrighty. Alright. Turn this big bad boy around. Lost a quarter of a pound and gained about 2 pounds. So my goal is eventually to have a solid plate back here. Let's see. So this is a template that I've come up to build, and that's gonna take the place of all this mess. And I'll have all my ports nice and organized, ports for powering things like the soundboard and stuff like that. Dual monos for video out, audio to a video source. XY with an RTA. Snake to do some work for so I can have real-time analyzing of the yard and stuff like that. That's pretty much what I use this for. Is a reference between what's going on in the yard and house and what's going on the board. So I have kind of a reference back and forth, and that's what I use that for. It has some other modules, but the unit's no longer made. I wish I got the whole series along with the other modules. That would have opened up a lot more capability for me. So I'll just start plugging stuff in. One of the things I gotta make sure I have on that template is the RS-232. So that I can communicate with my trackball. So if I need to, I can fine tune, do some odd-to-wall, odd type chases and stuff like that, and program those. The trackball allows me to do a couple things. It allows me to simplify my chase sequences or program lights and stuff like that, depending on how I got the fixture set up. But it talks to all pan tilt head devices. And this wire I'm hooking up is my trigger, and I'll explain what I do with that here in a moment. When I put that template on here, I'm actually going to make another continuity tester. Alright. So I have my trigger wire, and I have it labeled trigger kick drum. And what I do with that is I'll take the channel that's assigned to the kick drum, and I will literally put this into the install. So every time that kick drum kicks, that's going to trip the show design, and that's going to tell the show design to go to the next sequence. And that's why I have it. I am planning on go to digital, but they do not. The digital boards that I've looked at do not have an install, so I got to find a workaround to do exactly that. Oh, these are valuable to have around. These are called cable cuffs. And ever since I discovered them, they've been awesome to have. Alright. I like the newer ones. So as these break, I'll put the newer versions on these. Alright, there goes that bundle. That's for an effects processor, which may no longer be, which is dead. So I have a VGA cable. I have a computer that I shove in here to do my audio stuff. Take this monster connector off. When someone says they got plugs, I think I got them beat. Go over, under. How can you tell an AV from anybody else? A true AV? It's how we roll our cables. Like I said, once I get this all done the way I want it, this is going to be a solid panel. So these are the workaround cables I was talking about. And they're bi-directional. I made these originally for my light, so I can just start a chain and then I can work that chain back. So that was the purpose of these. But these ended up being a workaround, and I'm glad I had them with me to do that. So, oh, don't know what to do with those guys. So, oh, you're probably wondering how I'm gonna mark my problem child. That's easy. Take a piece of electrical tape, or known as in my industry, the world's fastest first aid kit. I don't know how many guys I've taped up with this to stop bleeding with electrical tape. Oh my gosh. So I'll just take a little bit of piece here and now I won't wrap it around and just, you know, put it like a flag. I'll actually wrap it around. Usually when you put electrical tape on something, that usually means there's a problem with it. Alright. Like I said, 30 years, I've never had a cable go bad. As the old saying is always the first time. So I got my first loop, and now I'm going to come under. Oh, this one's not going to behave. So I'm going to come under the loop. Oh, come on. There we go. I'm going to come underneath it, do my over loop, and then I'm going to come underneath. That just makes it easier, so when I pull this out, it just makes it easier to plug in to wherever I'm plugging into. But if I go to digital, a lot of this is going to disappear. I may still have it patched in, just in case I have to go back to an analog setup. Alright, that's nice and snug. Alright, let's throw this box back in here. I'm going to get this all organized in because I'm actually going to use shorter power cords. I'm actually found a source where they're color coded. There's 10 different color codes. So that's going to make it a lot easier for me to track what plug I'm unplugging, stuff like that. Power supply for the show design site that fell off. You can see why I want to do that panel. It'll just make life a lot easier. Alright. Is that over here? Where did that guy go? So I was talking about a trackball. RS-232 trackball. That I use for my show design. This is just a splitter because sometimes I have a wireless transmitter to transmit audio from different locations and stuff like that. Satellite links and stuff like that. That's what this is for. And that actually patches in the same port as the excuse me, the analyzer and stuff like that. So this is my trackball. And of course it's RS-232, and that just plugs on the side of my soundboard here. In fact, I'll just go ahead and rig it up real quick, just for fun. Alright, so I'm going to tilt the camera down, straight down here. So that's how it's that allows me to, you know, like, if something is like a beat's going on, I could sit here and go right, left, right, left, right. I can go up, down. I can do circles and stuff like that. And then once I leave it alone, it will re-go back to the chase. So this is RS-232. Yeah, it's old school, but it works. Sorry about that. I do not have a pan tilt. I have a pan tilt head, but I can't find its power supply, so or its controller. So yeah. So do have the schematics to it though. Well, anyways, let me talk about the scribble here. Someone asked me about that at the event, and I got a slide. Yeah. I don't know know how you guys can see it. Alright, so right here is where a lot of sound guys will take tape and run it across here, write our notes. I do have two areas that are designated: video recording, audio recording. So that's what I use on my sub mixes here, is just for outputs, not to try to do sub blending and stuff like that. I just use it strictly for controlled outputs, and that's all I needed it to do. So instead of having to run tape, I use magnet tape, and then I just put vocals, rhythm guitar, electric guitar, and hand percussion. And then keyboards. These red strips here are telling me these are the channels I'm not using. I actually have some more. So that's just kind of a way to signify that I'm not using those channels at that present time or with that particular group of musicians. Then I have the board designed in sections. I have 1 through 7 for vocals. And that can vary. I've rarely seen anything above 8 on vocals, but I at least have at least a minimum of 7. They're not all in here. Then of course, some will have an acoustic guitar and stuff like that, or rhythm guitar, electric guitar, bass. I usually have a blank just in case something else needs to be popped in there, like somebody brought some wind in or some brass. Hand percussion. I always give 2 channels to hand percussion depending on what they're using for hand percussion. That's just my methodology of mixing, because I like to give it some pan between left and right. For those, what normally we say channel A, channel B, but for you consumers, left and right. Keyboard's the same thing. I'll do a left and right, just a hair off of the center, and that way you can get a nice blend into that. Percussion, hi-hat center, snare off to channel A, kick drum is center, high tom is left, mid tom is right, floor tom is more right, and then the lower floor tom would be more of a right. So you have this really nice flow. Chimes, they can be between left and right, or A and B. It depends on the position of the chime. So if the chime's in the middle of the kit, it'll be center, and if it's off to the left of the kit or right of the kit, it'd be that way in the mix. Reason I do that is it just gives it more broad spectrum of the sound and stuff like that. And then if your audience listens to it in the live recording and playback, I do record that, and you have the way for me to download the stuff onto a flash drive or an optic disc or something like that, and you want to produce that to your live cut CD or something like that, or put on your web page for a live cut. Your audience will hear that. Sometimes with electric guitars or rhythm guitars, I'll actually take them and move that, and I'll put a DI box in there and make it sound like there's 2 individuals playing at the same time, but because they use effects, it's different. And when I do that, I usually split the channels between channel A and channel B, left and right for you consumers. So that's kind of my methodology behind what I do on this board. It's not one of the top of the line boards, but it does the job. It's really light to move around, stuff like that. It is a Behringer. Yeah, it's not the top of the line, but it does what I needed it to do. So in case you guys are interested in it, it is the SX3224FX. It's a fairly good board. I only have one major peeve with it. The talkback squeals like a grease pig. Don't know why. I got the schematics for it. Still don't know why. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Have the camera back up here. My screen the right way. So that's this board here. That's kind of what my live sound system is. There's some pictures of it all set up at the last venue on my webpage. I'll put the link in the video description and stuff like that. There's been some improvements on the webpage too, so I'm going to announce that as well. And and I'm constantly improving on that. So if you want to check out my website, just go into video description and then click onto the link and it'll take you right to there. So enjoy doing that. You can also find me on Twitter at tack248 at twitter.com. So if you want to drop me a line and say, hey, that's great, I've kind of learned something, but if you want more details, hey, please comment and stuff like that. I would love to hear from you. I do interact with comments and stuff like that. Case in point, I've had one of my viewers say, hey, I don't understand this. Here's some suggestions. I took that in heart and did that update on the webpage. So, Wifang Pyro, thank you. I'm going to give you a shout out again. Thank you for that input. So, just to show you that I do interact with my viewers. So, with that, I'd like to explain. I hope you all had a great 4th of July. I do not have the statistics this year as of yet of injuries and stuff like that. I know last year we had 16 fatalities due to negligence of using fireworks and pyrotechnic devices. I hope we did better this year. The numbers are not yet out, but I'm hoping it does come out soon, so we can get that. I can get that to you. You can find me on Twitter and stuff like that. Please do not drink and drive here. Throughout the United States. Fines are excessive. They can go well over $10,000 easy. That's legal fees, penalties, citations, yada, 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 yada. And if you seriously hurt somebody, it's even worse. It's even a prison sentence in most cases. So, yeah, don't drink and drive, and you definitely will probably lose your license. So, that. So, just so, please don't do that. Another thing, I see this time and time again, and the other day I almost got hit because some guy was paying attention to his cell phone, his laptop, and a tablet. Really? Okay, that's distracted driving. Here in the 33rd state, 3 times, it's a possible jail sentence. So, and I say that because I don't know the true facts on that, so it is a possible jail sentence. So, don't do that. Okay, and stuff like that. Furthermore, if you like any of my videos, hit a thumbs up, make a comment, and you can always share my videos on your social media ports. Do not duplicate the video because you are using against my copyright infringements, and I do have those activated on my YouTube channels once my videos go up. So if you're copying my YouTube videos to try to get yourself more views, that's a no-no, and a lot of us creators out here are up in arms about that and stuff like that. So don't do that. So with that, I'm Spracketech248. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next post. I'm going to put all this equipment back in their boxes and put them in the storage. I'll see you all in the next post. See ya. Bye-bye.